angel. The chest situation has gotten better. It's still visible, but it's not nearly as sensitive to the touch. But I have decided not to take any chances and just wear a high neck thing, so I don't run the risk of catching more sun, as it were. Although I do have my sunscreen that I will put on before I go out. I'm actually a little bit nervous about going for a walk today because I don't know exactly what happened, but I must have stepped weird on my knee or slept weird maybe, or had it cranked too hard the wrong way, because now it really hurts to, like, it's okay when it's supporting weight, that's fine, but if I flex it too far back, it feels really tight. I'm not really sure what happened to it. I have an issue with this knee, which you can't see it because I can't lift it high enough. I messed it up really bad when I was in like 6th grade. I kicked a ball too hard in gym class and it just, something happened. And I never like officially went to the doctor. I tried to downplay it because I thought I was a cool little machismo little middle schooler. And I don't know if it healed wrong or something, or if I just have a bad knee in general, but I'm trying to rub it smooth right now, which is why my shoulders are shaking. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if I'm going to try to do my full hour and a bit walk today, because I don't want to stress it, but I do want to get some physicality going today, because apparently it's supposed to rain later today. Today is the last day of these days of being in the 20s, and then starting from tomorrow we're going to have a few days in the teens, apparently, a little bit drizzly rainy, which honestly I'm kind of looking forward to, because then this will have time to heal. Anyway, more shenanigans from my dear broken country. Okay, I was debating on whether I was going to say it or not. I'm just going to say it. I'm getting real tired of people who aren't from the US commenting to me about Americans in general. Like, I have no problem at all with people railing on the president, on the vice president, on McConnell, on, like, people in power. I have no problem with people railing on certain institutions, the Supreme Court, a million things. Oh, pigeon. Try me, pigeon. There are a million things to criticize in the US, and I'm not gonna, gloss over anything. I try not to gloss over anything anyway, but there's a particular language that I hear a lot in Europe, and it's partly because the US just has a really unfortunate reputation abroad, and people think that because they've seen our movies and TV shows and headlines that they know what the US is. And I keep having to remind people, the US here, like geographically, is almost the same size as the whole continent of Europe. Like, it's not this, you can't generalize about it. It's not a monolith. Nothing is a monolith. And it's just so, I had a friend the other day was on the phone with me kind of debriefing about everything that was happening, and she goes, she's a French person, she goes like, oh, well, like, France has its problems, but America is fucked up. And I swear I wanted to throw my phone against the wall, because I was like, how? You can't possibly make that characterization, that sweeping generalization, based on the headlines that you read. And okay, maybe you read some news articles. Those are designed by people who have a particular message to portray, so it's not the full story. You can watch documentaries, you can watch movies. Again, those are created by people with a certain viewpoint. You are not getting the full picture, and you wouldn't get the full picture unless you lived there for a very significant amount of time. If you spent your young childhood, your middle childhood, your adolescence, young adulthood, more mature adulthood, those are all different experiences that you have in the same country. I've lived in France for 6 years now, almost, and I would never say something so general about France, because I'm not French. and I haven't lived my life in France. Like, I have no problem saying that French bureaucracy is a problem because I have experienced that, but I would never say, like, oh, France is fucked up because its bureaucracy is fucked up. Those are two very different things to say, and the fact, on top of that, that I am often the only American that people encounter on a regular basis makes me the focal point for all of their frustration and confusion and ponderings, I guess, and I just bear the brunt of it so often. I cannot tell you how many times in a week I have to field questions about Trump from people who just don't understand him. And my job is to be that factotum of sorts. It's what I've signed on to do, and I do want to be informative, but it's just exhausting when it's coming from my friends as well sometimes. And at this particular moment, when my city is literally on fire, and people are being assaulted, being attacked wrongfully, when medics are being fired on by the police, which is a war crime, I'm pretty sure, like, it's all so mixed up in one bundle of stress and heartache and fear and motivation to make things better, but lack of assurance on how to enact change when you're in another continent. It is all balled up in this very painful, throbbing thing right here, which is maybe why I'm scratching so much here and why this is so aggravated. And I've had to put a moratorium with my friends on talking to me about stuff in the US right now. Like, it's okay if people say, like, oh, Trump's an idiot. I agree. Or like, oh, I saw what's happening with the protest. That's so scary. Or the police are, out of control or something. Like, those more specific comments, I can handle that. But just making generalizations. Someone sent me a link a couple of days ago about, it was titled, like, why the US is obsessed with incarceration. And I was just like, I can't read this right now. I don't even care if this was made in the US right now. The fact that you, a non-American, are sending me something that criticizes a part of my country that I'm not ready to parse out emotionally, it's all just weighing so much on my stupid, sunburnt shoulders. I just can't handle it, and I'm not engaging in it right now. And then there's a big part of me that's just like, Black people constantly have to field questions, concerning comments, thoughts and prayers, whenever someone is killed or attacked or brutalized or what have you. So much more than I do. And like, if I'm crumbling under the pressure, I cannot even begin to imagine what it's like for people who have to live in that community day in, day out. Can't imagine it. Okay, so that's my rant of the day. I hope I don't have any more. Oh, it's beautiful out now and I should go for a walk, but it's warm and my knee hurts and I don't want my skin in any more danger. Alright, just do it. Just go out for half an hour and we'll see if we can pull it together. It's fine.
Good morning, my girl.
Good morning, my mother.
How are you?
Let's talk about that in a little bit. Do you want to play trivia with me before we go on a walk?
Okay. I have to tell you that let me see, I'm trying to do the math as I look at my clock because it's off, Although, there is a daddy here.
Why are you not at work?
He took the rest of the week off.
Oh, yeah, he did say that, yeah. Is Dad going to play trivia with us, too?
I hope so. Let me get the other phone.
Okay, question number 1. Are you both ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, number 1.
I'm ready.
No, you weren't.
You are not. Totally not.
Okay. May I start? May I start, please? Okay. Question number 1. On this day in 1972, I'll Take You There hit number 1 as what family group made a successful transition from gospel to secular music?
I'll take you there.
Gospel is secular.
So I want to say Jackson 5.
What year?
72.
Yeah, I'll go Jackson 5.
No.
Okay.
I don't know that the Jackson 5 did religious music.
Yeah, they did. They grew up that way, I think.
I feel fairly certain they were religious first. I don't know. Although, wait, am I confusing I'll take you there with I'll be there?
Yes,
Uh-oh.
you are.
Uh-oh. Okay, well then I don't know.
I'm thinking though definitely Motown, but it's
Sit down.
I'll take you there.
How about
I'm just gonna go sit down.
sisters?
Pointer Sisters?
Yes.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that makes more sense to me.
Okay.
Let's go with it.
Okay. Question number 2. Which U.S. president, known for, quote, giving them hell, end quote, once greeted a Washington Post reporter by calling him an 8-ulcer man on 4-ulcer pay?
Harry Truman.
Truman?
Give them hell, Harry.
Okay.
Buck stops here.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of those, Afroism?
That kind of sounds like what how Biden
Aphorism,
insults
not
people.
Afro.
Well, that's why I was close.
Yes, you were.
Number 3. Name the defensive lineman. Dad, this one's on you. The defensive lineman whose nickname was a 1913 invention originally called the Kelvinator. I don't even understand the question.
Calvin Harris.
That's a DJ.
No, it's an athlete.
No, say it again.
Okay.
Calvin, name
The defensive lineman whose nickname was a 1913 invention originally called the Kelvinator.
So it's no longer called the Kelvinator. It's called something else.
So the invention, wait. The invention was originally called the Kelvinator, and then that thing changed a name, and that name is the nickname of this defensive lineman.
I'm going to say it's the Fridge.
You know what? I think you might be right.
Oh.
Refrigerator
Chicago Bears.
Perry.
Who is the Fridge?
His name is Perry.
Perry. That makes sense. I buy that.
Name.
Okay.
Also Calvin Harris. Calvin and Kelvin are the same.
No. I think it's a double blind.
Yeah. Refrigerator Perry.
Refrigerator Perry. It's real smooth on all of his business cards. Okay. Number 4.
Yeah.
Number 4. There are...
And it was never refrigerator. That's what white people said. He said it was the fridge.
Uh-huh.
Because he was just solid.
White people, once again, fucking things up.
Player ever to be in pro football.
Actually, he's very tall.
Was he?
Yeah.
Or maybe he was wide and that made him look short.
Tall and wide, like a refrigerator.
Yeah.
Almost 7 minutes in. We've
You're
only
trying
done 3
to do the
questions.
next question, I know.
Mm-hmm. There are 3 state capitals in the U.S. whose names are just 5 letters long. Of those, which one is in a state whose name is also 5 letters long?
Boise, Idaho.
That's what I was thinking.
Boise and Idaho. Go with it.
You gonna fact check me on that, Baba?
No, I don't have anything to fact check with.
Wonderful. Okay, and then number 5. What great athlete and civil rights activist was the subject of the song Black Superman and died 4 years ago at age 74?
Henry Aaron?
Was he 74?
I think so, yeah.
So, what is the first part of the question again?
What great athlete and civil rights activist?
Henry Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron?
What about,
His nickname was Hank.
Possibly.
yeah, I don't think any of the really, big basketball names have died. Right? Because a lot of the,
Well, only Henry Aaron was in a position to really do the kind of how was it referred to in the question?
Great
Superman. So.
Great athlete and civil rights activist.
There you go. Only because Henry Aaron was such a household name, he could go anywhere in the country because he was the home run king. He displaced Babe Ruth.
I've already started researching this question because I don't think we're going to find it.
And it couldn't be, I don't think it could be Jackie Robinson because he was a generation previous to that.
Yeah, and basketball folks, they get much.
Well,
I mean, they kind of, most of the people that I would think of as basketball heroes were after the civil rights movement.
Right, exactly. Okay, that's our answer.
So,
Any football or track folks that stick out to you?
Well, I mean, yes, but I think Henry Aaron is the only one that's still, of course, my memory is flawed.
I'm just looking for options.
hold on. I've already started searching for the answer because you guys talk a lot. Let's see. Am I evil? Yes, I am. When did this particular person die? Okay, I have the answer for Black Superman. Muhammad Ali.
Whoa, we did. We missed him. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't beat that definitely for sure.
Yeah.
Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. died in 2016 at the age of 74. I could have sworn he died long before that.
Yeah, me too. Well, see, the thing is that he had been out of public life for a good 20 years because he had really bad, like, Alzheimer's or something.
Okay, I'm not even gonna check Boise, Idaho. I feel like that one's pretty solid. I've just checked the Kelvinator is now defunct. The name still exists. It is a fridge. I'm gonna back you guys on that one. Give him hell. You guys seem pretty sure about Truman. And then I'll take you there. That's the last one to check. Take you there was the Staple Singers.
I heard them. I don't know them.
I don't know if I've ever heard that name in any sort of meaningful way. But there's a part of the lyrics that go, dum, 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 socket, socket, ah, oh, oh! I know a place, y'all. I'll take you there. Ain't nobody crying. I'll take you there. Ain't nobody worried.
Yeah, when I'm
I'll take you there.
in my head, I heard a male voice, and that's what was. Yeah, but the Pointer Sisters, one of them has got a really low voice.
It's not the Pointer Sisters. It's the Staple Singers.
No, I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. Anyway, so that means that we got Truman, The Fridge, and Boise. 3 out of 5. Good job, Team Englehart. I'm going to stop recording here so I can go for a walk with my parents.
We did our best.
Well, I'm back from my walk. I've actually been back a little bit. I was sitting kind of working on some stuff on my computer, and my knee just hurts a lot. It's like when it's bent is when it hurts. I can feel like soreness under one of the, like, you know how knees have like a knob? Little just different knot, like quadrants, I guess, like right here. It's just really puffy and sore. And when I was walking around, it wasn't a problem. I didn't even feel it really, but it's when it's kind of bent up. So I'm going to have to kind of sit with my leg stretched out for a couple hours and see if that doesn't relieve it. But that said, I may actually take a nap because I did not sleep well last night. It was hot and sticky, and I had my windows closed because my neighbors, yesterday was the first day of like phase 2 of anti-lockdown, so people could be like in restaurants, could patronize restaurants and bars, and they were out in the street until like 1 or 2 in the morning just making noise and reveling, which, like, I get it, but at the same time, Tuesday night. Also, residential street, so don't. I know that I sound like an old person. Is my nose burnt? Looks like really dark because I have my sunglasses here all the time. Oh dear. Oh dear. Anyway, and it was so hot and muggy last night, and there were mosquitoes all over me last night. I don't know how many, if it was just one that was super tenacious or multiples, but I had to get up in the middle of the night and put cream on some of them because they were itching so much that I couldn't sleep. So, like, I tried actually going to bed at 3 o'clock, and I couldn't. I was, like, listening to a podcast and lulling myself to sleep, and I woke up at the end of that podcast with, like, mosquitoes buzzing in my ears, and I just couldn't fall asleep until, like, 6:30 after that, so I'm a little tired. I think I woke up at, like, 10:30 as well, so I haven't gotten that much sleep. I think I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna read a little bit, take a nap. That's good. I have woken up from my nap. I actually woke up like an hour and a half ago and just haven't done anything interesting. And I haven't turned on my light yet. It's only 9 p.m. and it looks like it's the wee hours of the morning. This light is coming from my laptop, just in front. I've been enjoying kind of seeing the light disappear a little bit, and I'm starting to hear thunder in the background. Ooh, do you hear it? Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening. So my question is, oh, all of these diners, what are they gonna do? Ruh-roh. Oh, and now I'm seeing lightning. Are we? There's no way you're gonna pick up on it. I think the background is too bright, but it's pretty constant thunder right now, just like rolling. Oh, there was another lightning. Oh, I'm excited. You know, like the excitement that builds up before a storm, and then you know you're safely inside. You don't have to go anywhere. By the way, I don't think I'm gonna try to get my second walk of the day. Today my knee hurts too much to be flexed a lot. It was okay when I was walking earlier, but just sitting there was really sore, and I just don't want to push it. Maybe I'll do like some arm exercises just to balance it out. Ooh, the wind is on real strong. Hey, that tree is getting absolutely buffeted. It doesn't look like it on camera, but it is torrid. And someone in the crowd below just caught me filming, so that's cool. I have a reputation now. Ooh, oh. Oh, it's officially begun. The rain is officially out. It's still quite light at the moment. In terms of fall, there's not like the puddles yet, but it smells so good. Delicious. Like if you could eat rain, you probably shouldn't. There's like particles in it, but it smells good. I'm just living my best beginning of thunderstorm caprese, watching YouTube life. I've also got chicken on the go, but that's not as appetizing to look at. Look at this though. Ooh. It's still raining, but not very hard. And I've decided I never drink at home alone. Never. Like maybe 3 times a year. It just doesn't occur to me. But I just had a real craving for a beer. A ruby beer, to be precise. With, with berry and, what was rosewood? I don't know. This is my go-to beer to bring with me to picnics. Because most of the time when you go to picnics, you don't have a cooler to keep beer cold, and a lot of beer is awful when it's not like really cold. And this, because it has all this fruit flavor in it, doesn't matter if it's super cold. You can just enjoy it at room temperature. This has been chilling for a while, but I just wanted a beer tonight. So there. A bit later on, it is well and fully dark out now. And coming down. I'm trying to cover the camera so it doesn't get rain on it. It's kind of hard to tell, but if you look under the light there, it's coming down pretty hard. Well, my father just straight up terrified me. He sent me an email saying, please call, there's been an update. So cryptic. And then I tried calling the house 3 times and no one picked up. So I was emailing around, and my dad like almost never has his cell phone on, which, why do you have it if you don't turn it on? My mom has a phone, but it's more of a potato than a phone, so it's not really good to try to get her with it. She's like almost never on Facebook Messenger, so it's hard to, basically it's just really hard to message my parents if they're not picking up the phone at the landline. So I was like emailing them back both like furiously, like, please tell me that that nothing bad has happened, that you guys are okay, there hasn't been an incident. And then thankfully, turns out the reason they weren't picking up is because another family friend had called like literally 10 seconds before I tried to call, so they just weren't switching off the phone, which is totally fine by me. So my dad ended up turning his phone on and texting me that the charges against the 4 police officers who murdered George Floyd have been, so the one who actually had his knee on the guy's neck was originally charged with 3rd-degree murder and manslaughter. I didn't know what the different degrees are. Apparently, 1st-degree murder, and it differs between every state, which is not helpful. But in Minnesota, 1st-degree murder means something along the lines of premeditated intentional murder. Premeditated, pre-planned intentional murder. 2nd degree means also premeditated, but in a different sense. 3rd degree murder means intentional, but not premeditated. It kind of a murder of opportunity, as it were. And then manslaughter is accidental involvement. And then the other 3 cops they were fired, but they didn't have any official charges against them. That was when the district attorney, Mike Freeman, was involved in the charges. The situation has now been passed to the Attorney General, Keith Ellison, whom I very much support. And one of the first things that he did was crank up all the charges. So now Derek Chauvin, I'm not sure, the chauvinist pig, almost literally, it has now been charged with 2nd-degree murder. And the 3 other officers at the scene have been charged with aiding and abetting murder. So at least there is progress in that area. Unfortunately, we're not going to know the result of those charges for several months because there needs to be due process and all of that, which is understandable, frustrating, but it's part of our Constitution. And the other piece of good news that I heard, maybe I heard it yesterday, but I didn't talk about it. The state of Minnesota has filed, the Minnesota Department of Human Rights, I think it's what it is, has filed a suit, basically, against the Minneapolis Police Department. Or is it the Minneapolis and St. Paul Police Departments? Or something, I don't know. And they're basically going to do an external audit of all of the conduct over the last 10 years and identify the areas that are most, the nice word would be problematic, the accurate word would be fucked up. So hopefully that audit will lead to some areas, some indicators of places where we need real change to be implemented ASAP. So I'm glad that was the news that my dad writes me such cryptic messages. He writes me literally the shortest messages. And then when I try calling the house, half the time nobody picks up, and then I just panic. Although, now that I think about it, if it had been truly serious, he wouldn't have had the resources to message me. Like, if there had been, I don't know, some sort of bombing in the neighborhood, I imagine the electricity might have gone out, and he wouldn't have been able to use the Wi-Fi to send me an email or something. I'm not sure. But, when you get a message like, there's been an update. Whoops. Memory card got full, had to clear some old stuff out. When someone sends you a message saying, there's been an update, and then you have no follow-up, and everything that is happening in the world is currently happening, you have a moment. Anyway, it is, oh my god, it's 11:15. Okay, I need to do some, I don't want to do anything with my knee. I'm just worried that bending and flexing it too much, even having it bent at the angle that I have it at now, is not super comfortable. So I think I'm going to do some just, what are they called in English? This happens to me all the time, that I forget that a word comes to me in French before in English. Alter. Free weights? Dumbbells. Woo! I have a pair of 2-kilo dumbbells, which is not very heavy, but I don't lift weights that often. So I think I'll find a quick tutorial on YouTube or something and just work through it. And then I'm going to shower, because it's raining outside, and it makes me want to shower for some reason. And then maybe I'll have some chocolate. sweating. By the way, this is doesn't look like a lot of reps. It's 4 sets of 15 reps. So that was 1 set. I've already done it once. I have to do it 2 more times. Yeah. Fitness. Also, I should not have worn a brightly colored top because sweat stains are almost definitely going to come through. Oh well. All right, I am exercised. I am showered. I am enrobed as such, and I'm gonna pack it in for the night. So, good night.